Can you talk about your last game? You get a safety. That's got to be a pretty big feeling in your last home game.
Oh, absolutely. That was the first safety I've ever had, I think. So we were talking about that earlier today. But yeah, I mean, it was incredible, man. I know I called a little stunt with our defensive end, and I ended up one-on-one with the guard, and I think they slid the protection wrong, which turned out to be good on my side of it. But ended up getting him around the legs, and Big B cleaned it up. So yeah, it was a great experience, and I think it helped swing the momentum a little bit for us. And Wanye returned that kickoff right after that. So yeah, I mean, heck, I'm glad I could be a part of that. That's good stuff.
Was that ball loose in the end zone?
Yeah, I think it was actually. They went back and watched it, and if Brandon wouldn't have kicked it out of the back of the end zone, I think it could have been a touchdown. So.
In terms of the rivalry game, obviously you grew up in Tennessee, so you're more than well aware of rivalries with Georgia, and having played in the game several times now, what does this kind of mean to you, this game? Oh,
it's huge. They stress it to you right when you walk on campus. It's even in the fight song. This rivalry is something special. It goes back a long time. And you know what? I know some guys over there, and it's all good off the field. But when you strap on the pads, it just becomes a little different. It's you're playing for the people who have played before you, and laid the foundation for the rivalry and made it what it is today. So it just feels great to be able to go out there, and it'll be my last regular season game. So we got to go out with a bang.
Are you glad it's a noon game? You don't have to sit around all day and wait.
Yeah, I like a noon game. It's get up, you got your energy, getting ready to go, and just get to go have at it early. I don't really like sitting around myself, so I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with a 12 o'clock game.
In terms of getting, I guess, the team ready and stuff, do you think at all or talk about what happened in 2016? And you guys were in the exact same spot record-wise and coming on strong, kind of carrying that over into this game as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between, which was my sophomore season and now senior season. Yeah, a lot of similarities. We had started off kind of rough in that season and was able to pull it together towards the end and was able to go up there and beat Georgia. But this is a new team, and we try not to live in the past. And they've got a new team as well. So we're just looking to show what we can do as with who we are and the guys we have now. And I think it's going to be a good game.
Do you see a difference in Fromm in his game now versus a year ago?
I haven't watched much of him. I don't really pay attention to him.
Coach Johnson, I think you guys have talked about it before about him giving you his message of, let's just control what you control and a good time. What did that mean, or how did that help the team?
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what football is. You're 1 out of 11, and if you can do your part as best as your ability and control what you can control, like you said, then it all comes together. And I think that's really important, and it's important off the field as well. Because I mean, there's definitely a correlation between going to class and missing class and missing your assignment on the football field. So I think Coach Johnson's done a really good job in trying to instill in the guys' heads that this is the kind of culture we want, and it translates all the way around. If you can control what you can control on the field, then in your life you're going to do the same thing. So I think it's a good thing that he's tried to emphasize this year.
Was it particularly meaningful or helpful, given that you guys won it, and there's a lot of noise around the team?
Yeah, I mean, you can get distracted a lot, and there can be a lot of noise at times. And coming out 1-3, a lot of people were talking down about us, and the people sometimes stop believing in you when you're doing bad. And really, when you're in that situation, all you've got is your teammates and yourself. So yeah, I mean, I think that really helped us once we realized that we can control only what we can control. So. Once we pulled it together, and I think that's when we started playing a little bit better.
Is your job Saturday as simple as getting off the field, making as many stops as you can. Is that going to be the key for you guys?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the key every week. I mean they're they're gonna run the same plays as everybody else, and honestly they keep it kind of simple. So, I think if we can fit our gaps and hold our responsibilities within ourselves, I think we'll be all right.
When looking at this rivalry over the past 4 years or whatever, does it become more intense knowing Georgia has such a national spotlight on it?
I mean, we know they're a really good team. Yeah, and I mean, it would look good for us to beat what are they, number 5?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's always a good opportunity when you can play somebody that, a really good competition. So, as a competitor, you want to compete, and I think if you can, go into Athens and compete with these guys, then I think that says something pretty special about yourself. So.
Being in state, and then you mentioned knowing a lot of these guys, having grown up and played with some of them, what's it like, I mean, from the moment you're out of the tunnel, maybe even in between plays, that makes this game just so different, and even just, friendly competition between you and people you know?
Yeah, I mean, the rivalry, like I said, it goes on and off the field. A lot of friends that live outside of, Atlanta that I've met are, their families are Georgia fans, and you get to know them, and it just makes it run a little bit more deep, a little deeper. And, it's between plays, of course, you're trash talking, but, and sometimes it's a little bit more serious than others, but, it's just, it's all fun at the end of the day. I mean, you obviously want to win and stuff, but, it's just good to go out there and compete with the guys you know.
Any guys in particular that you're excited to see maybe after the game's over with?
No, Isaac Nada, I know I'll be seeing him quite a bit as he plays tight end. I'll be seeing him quite a bit during the game and probably after. So, yeah, and I know a guy from back in Knoxville, Cade Mays. I don't know the situation with him right now, with whether he's starting again or not, but I'm sure I'll be seeing some of him too.
Anything else for Brent?
Chris, you guys, your third down rate isn't obviously what you want, but it seems like you're able to get the stops kind of when you need them, because Virginia, the last, possession when they were driving, or actually the second last when they were driving at that 3rd and 1, you stopped them, and then obviously in the overtime. And I'm curious, is that something that, I don't know, something that you guys are able to kind of summon, or you feel like, oh, these turnovers also, how can you explain how that's happened?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten some pretty good breaks here in the last couple games, and turnovers have been huge in helping us win games. It's not necessarily something you say, all right, it's 3rd down, we're going to get off the field right here. I mean, I wish it could be like that. But you know what? When guys are running to the ball and everybody's playing as hard as they can, good things tend to happen. And I think I can, accredit to how hard my teammates have worked, and how hard we've, tried to learn this defense, and really just bought into it, and we give it our all, and sometimes it just falls in our direction.
Anything else? Thanks, Brent.
All right.
Des, were you on the field for the last play of regulation against Virginia?
The kick? Oh, yes.
No, before the kick.
Yes, I was.
Were you expecting him to spike the ball?
I think just not even. I know I was, but that's where situational awareness. That's where I get better with situational awareness. It's been documented that multiple teams have done that in that situation. That's a good play on his part. Luckily, he didn't convert it, but yeah, I did.
What do you think you guys had struggles stopping that running quarterback. What do you think you guys did in the second half to kind of slow that down and make enough plays to keep the game alive?
I think it was a lot of the D-line penetration helped out a lot, because in the first half, we weren't getting back there. He had time to survey the field, and if he didn't want to throw the ball, he would tuck it and run. And the offensive lineman, they had a pretty solid offensive line, so them sticking on us allowed him to have some escape lanes. But in the second half, I know the D-line and outside linebacker stepped it up, and we were able to get back there and make him feel a little bit uncomfortable. That's how we made a lot more plays.
What do you see when you look at Georgia on film in terms of their offensive line and kind of your points of attack?
They're big. They're big. They know they're big. They know that they have good running attack. No, it's not a secret, and that's a bread and butter. But they also can throw the ball. They got a good quarterback. Got some solid wide receivers. They're a very solid team, and just top to bottom, just solid all the way around.
Would you rather go against a big offensive line or a quick offensive line? If you had a choice of working against one or the other, do you have a preference?
I really don't have a preference. I mean, it's just thing is most of the time on the offensive line there's a big guy, a short, fast guy, and a guy in between. It's just for Georgia they have all big guys, so it's just you're going against all big guys. You just gotta tweak the plan a little bit.
With the way they run the football, is it more important for you guys to get three-man pressure at times, to at least if the play action comes, which they like to do a lot, or if they're trying to quick pass you guys, in terms of just not let quarterback set their feet, whichever one they have in there?
Oh, it's very key for defense line to get pressure back there, because if we do get back there, that disrupts the running back's flow and the way they see their gaps and everything. So, and if we get back there, that means we're getting TFLs, which means we're getting up behind the sticks and making them one-dimensional, and that's the goal, just really to make this team one-dimensional, so you guys kind of dictate what to do with them.
Were they the best line you faced last year?
They were one of the more aggressive lines I faced last year.
Chris, when you guys are going over third down defense, what are some things that Coach Woody, Coach Rising has stressed to you about here's things we got to do better?
It depends. It varies week to week. It depends if we got a running quarterback. It depends if they like throwing the ball short, deep, or if they got a screen. So it's really just seeing what the bread and butter is and just see what the defensive line could do to neutralize that. And if it's a running quarterback, it's trying to get the quarterback to beat him with his arm instead of his legs, or just trying to get him down as quick as possible. Or if it's short passes, getting your hands up or stuff like that. So it just varies week to week.
As a kid from New Mexico, what have you kind of learned about this rivalry during your time here?
I learned that I learned that it's just everything is Georgia around here. It's all Georgia, but in this little pocket in downtown Atlanta, it's Georgia Tech. It's a real underdog mentality, because it's just you see Georgia everywhere. It's just, even though Georgia Tech is downtown Atlanta, you would think it's more popular, but it's not. It's crazy because everyone's a Georgia fan, but Georgia Tech is playing real good football. So
there's at least a decent chance you'll see more than one quarterback on Saturday. Different skill sets. Do you guys prepare at all for any kind of difference in what they do?
Yes, you definitely have to make a mental note, but you can't change everything that you do. You can't change your practice routine on them switching quarterbacks. You just have to make a mental note of what each quarterback prefers to do, what if he prefers to run, if he prefers to throw, and what's their favorite plays out of it. And when said quarterback is in, what said plays do they like running, and keep that in mind as you rush the pass or you rush run block.
Has seeing all the Georgia stuff, has that grown bothersome to you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because I got neighbors who just have a lot of Georgia stuff, and I have a Georgia Tech flag. For me it's very prideful, and going down there, I just remember just going down there and getting the dub, and that's why I want to feel that again, especially as a senior.
So with your experience of this week coming up, what is the week like? Maybe talking to other students, or what's being said on social from people you know that are Tech fans that maybe bring up memories or experiences playing them that really get y'all motivated and excited for Saturday?
Oh, it's definitely all around leading up 2 weeks in advance. People 2 weeks ago saying, "Hey, Georgia coming up. Make sure you get right for that game." These games, and I got regular people telling me that yeah, you guys do good, so we can take this momentum to Georgia. I'm like, oh snap, we got two weeks before then, but but it's a lot. It's nice to get more. When the Georgia game happens, it's definitely a lot more fan interest, and it's really fun because you feel the magnitude of the game, and it's just see it all over social media and the students, so it's really nice.
I remember Zach last week in here weekends ago, and when he said, what's the good word? So it's pretty deep when you say it.
Oh, it's very deep. I mean, it's all the time. It's in a fight song. It's a common phrase. So it definitely runs deep.
Anything else for Des? All right, thanks, Des. Sophomore defensive back Tariq Carpenter. Questions for Tariq?
You're from an area that's very Georgia heavy. Kind of what's this week like for you?
Oh, so me, like, I'm originally from Arkansas, so me moving down to South Georgia, like, all I hear is, oh, I'm a Georgia fan. So, like, me personally, me growing up, I didn't really like Georgia. So, I mean, I feel like I came to the right school.
In terms of you guys getting better, and you kind of went up and down a little bit, and now you're kind of back to where you were playing at the beginning of the year. Do you feel like that's just kind of the maturation process and getting used to playing and that kind of thing?
It's like maybe it better like my eyes real bad. So I feel like throughout the season, we got teams that did more stuff for like play action. I think that kind of got to me, but I feel like I adjusted with my own coaches having my back.
This seems like it would be a pretty physical week for you guys in terms of the way they run the football and stuff. Is that the kind of game you enjoy playing?
Yeah, I like being in the box, so it's gonna be a lot of that, because you know that they run a lot, but and again I also gotta work on my eyes this week, because you know they like to do a lot of play action. So
you're probably excited not to see that quarterback from last week though, with his run threat, Bryce Perkins.
Yeah, but Georgia, you know they got one just as good. So I mean, you never know if he's gonna play or not, but hopefully we'll be prepared.
How do your assignments change in the secondary based upon which quarterback they have under center?
Nothing changed. We running our same thing. We gonna give a call and we gonna play it.
You just have to maybe be a little more disciplined with your eyes in that circumstance.
Yes, sir. We gotta be disciplined with our eyes all the time, but it's definitely gonna be more with the other one.
What kind of thing is being stressed to you the most this week about what you have to deal with Georgia?
Ain't really been like stressful for me. I love to play this game, so I mean it's gonna be a fun one to me.
Are there things in particular that coaches are telling you, watch out for this, or you gotta be careful you do as well, or anything like that?
No, we treating it like any other week. I mean, we just game planning, scheming. It's just another game. It just mean more for the fans, I guess you can say.
Do you feel like you guys are playing your best football right now of the year?
We get better each game, but so as of right now, our goal at the end of the season was to be at our best. So we're gonna see Saturday.
A lot of people like to talk about momentum. You're on a winning streak as a player. Do you feel that momentum?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like in high school, I never won over 3 games in my high school. So I mean, I have never won this many games in the season. So everybody got a good momentum, and we don't plan on slowing down.
You never won more than 3 games in a season?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, sir.
The forced fumble against Miami, were you going for the ball, or was that just a good hit on him?
Yeah, I was trying to get a big hit just like any other time. It just so happened that I punched it.
Does that kind of help you, or kind of make you want to get more balls out? Or
Oh yeah, I'm definitely trying to find one. I'm definitely trying to find it.
Would you say, is it harder to do on kickoff cover, or is it like as opposed to just playing someone straight up on defense to get a ball loose like that?
You talking about like as in like stripping the ball?
Right. Yeah.
I think it's harder in the open field because it's just you and that guy. It's easy whenever our teammates latch on, the other person just come and take it.
Perkins.
Ah man, I seen that he jumped over. He got really up there, and then I was just we always stress running the ball, and it just so happened that I was there, just running the ball, doing what we practice all year. So yeah.
What's kind of your take on this game and the rivalry?
Ah man, it's a big thing. After being here, this should be my 4th year here. Playing it. Well, I didn't play in it freshman year, I don't think, but I was there for each game, and so. It's the level of focus is more amplified this week, and I know we definitely got to treat it like every other week, but it means more. It's old-fashioned hate. I'm talking about. You always want to be able to have the bragging rights at the end of the season, so it means a lot.
With the way the Clemson game unfolded, you guys were kind of going punch for punch with them, and that kind of slipped away.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that plays in the back of your mind a little bit too, getting this national stage again against a high-ranked team to show that you can go punch for a full game with a team like that?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. We kind of let it slip in Clemson, and that's something that we got to work on and that we've been working on and finishing out a full game. And so I feel like like Tariq was saying earlier, we've been trying to get better and play our best best football at the end of the season. And so every week we've been progressing, and we're looking forward to having a full game against Georgia.
Do you think getting doubled more last few weeks?
I feel like I've been getting doubled a little bit more, but you know, just part of the game. I'm trying to play it.
Do you feel like the season goes differently if you have your comfort level that you guys have right now in defense to start the year? Because everyone was still kind of learning what to do. There were guys like Jalen who hadn't even played in the spring that were in key positions. And do you feel like the season goes differently if you have the comfort the way you guys do now, and the way you've built it up?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like if we were, you know, just a little bit more comfortable with the defense, a little bit more comfortable with our assignments, and just knowing where to go and where to fit and how to play it and how to play certain plays, then I feel like we probably could have came out with a couple of key stops that would have helped us to win the game. You know, in Pittsburgh we needed a key stop and we didn't get it. In the USF we had a key stop and we didn't get it. So definitely if we had that comfortability level back in the beginning, then I feel like we could have won some games. But that's just a progress of the season. You know, you get better every week.
You have some guys like Tariq, Trey, Charlie that are playing for the first time. What have they meant to the defense this year?
Man, they meant a lot. You know, Charlie made a whole bunch of plays, you know, early in the season against Louisville and stuff, and Trey making a lot of plays, and Tariq making a lot of plays, Wanye even making plays. So they've been productive. They've been making game-changing plays and throughout games, so they mean a lot to the defense.
Asking Brant this about you guys, your third down conversion rate isn't great, but it seems like you guys get the stops when you need to, whether it's on third down, like an overtime or
yeah.
Or a turnover. What do you think what's going into that, or what do you think's happening there?
I feel like that's just a mentality of, I mean, definitely we're trying to get that rate down, you know, or get that rate much better. But I feel like coming up when we need it to is just a mentality of, hey, we need to win this game. And no matter what it takes, whether we have to go through 10 third downs or just a couple, you know, when we need it, like in overtime or in the fourth quarter or whatever, when we need to get that stop, I feel like we're just scrapping and we're just fighting just to get that stop. So, yeah.
What is the atmosphere like that maybe the fans and people in stands don't get in this rivalry that y'all only can see?
Ah, man, I feel like this in between plays and stuff like that is really aggressive, you know, just between, you know, the talking amongst players and, you know, what might go on during the play or after the play or something like that. It's just an aggressive thing, and, you know, I feel like both teams just really want to get the win for the bragging rights, for, you know, for the season, for better bowl games, all that. And so it's real tense and it's real aggressive.
So winning in Athens, what's that feeling like, being able to celebrate with the fans that traveled?
Ah, man, it's amazing. Only time I won against Georgia was in Athens, and it felt great, you know, being able to win at their place. And so hopefully we can get to doing it again, but we're just going to have to keep on practicing, see how it turns out.
Does it feel a little better when it's in Athens?
I mean, I would like to get one down here in the Bobby Dodd, but it does feel great in Athens, too.
Did you grow up a fan of anyone, too?
Who?
Did you grow up a fan of any team in particular?
I was a big Auburn fan when I was young, a big Cadillac Williams guy, and like Cam Newton and everything like that. But, you know, just growing up, getting in high school, I started to see a little bit things wider. Just, you know, it was just whatever.
Anything else for Andre?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Andre.
Thank you.